So I was on the phone with my brother yesterday actually, and he was telling me about how he went to this gala, this networking event where there were a lot of celebrities and famous rappers. And I asked him, how did you meet all these people? How did you get in there? And what did you do once you got there? And he said something very simple but very, very profound, which is that I just acted like I belonged. I just acted like I belonged. And that really hit very deeply as somebody who, for me personally, has often felt excluded, othered, marginalized, and as a result developed social anxiety. I stopped acting like I belonged. I internalized that belief, oh, you don't belong. And I just wanted to, share my thoughts on that. By the way, sorry I've been away for so long on my channel. I just been hella busy with all types of, school, work, um, trying to recover mentally from those two things. Yeah. Um, but back to the original video, just acting like you belong. I feel like firstly, a lot of people they adjust and conform so much that they end up erasing themselves. Is that really you fitting in? Because here's the truth. I like to put it like this: if you don't love the real me, you don't really love me. And that's to say, if you are attached to an external presentation of a person that does not correspond to who they truly are, that's not a connection. That's not a connection. That's a wall. It's a fake connection. It's a connection based on dissociation. It's a connection based on something that inevitably at some point will fail. It's a connection based on something that's fake. We erase ourselves to fit in, but that will not get us truly accepted. This world belongs to people who dominate, who take up space, who are not afraid to throw their weight around, who assert themselves. That is what this world is the property of. This world belongs to those kinds of people. We act like we don't belong. We act as if our real selves are somehow unworthy. And we hide those real selves. We adjust, we conform, we ultimately shrink until we are not seen anymore. And do we ultimately make those friendships, those connections? No, we ultimately end up feeling small and inferior and resentful. Let's not forget that too. Second point that I would add to this whole discussion is, in terms of acting like you belong, and the reason why it hits so different for me is because I've struggled with social anxiety a lot in the past. Feeling isolated, feeling othered, feeling marginalized, feeling like I don't belong. It got to the point where I acted like I didn't belong. I internalized that at some subconscious level without even realizing it. The truth is, you do belong. And you cannot allow another group of people to treat you like you don't belong. You do belong. So once you act like it, people treat each other based on how they act. That's the truth. When you act like you belong, people will either hate you for it, if they're really insecure or toxic or negative, or they will treat you like you belong. When you act like you belong, when you dominate, when you take up space, when you assert yourself, when you position yourself as the center of the room. So I just want to say to, kids who are being bullied, teenagers that are being bullied, left out, excluded, ignored, Like I was at one point. I was that exact teenager at one point. Don't accept other people's inferiorization of you. Don't accept it. You acknowledge that it's there, but you counteract it. You go in anyways. You go in anyways. That person is treating you like a backup friend. No, you go in. You act like you belong. Those kids are being cliquey. They don't want to hang out with you. They don't want to talk to you. You go in. You act like you belong. You feel like you don't belong. Well, you do belong. You do belong. Act like you belong. You have to truly internalize and think you belong there. Just start talking, bro. Just start talking. If someone cuts you off, hello, I'm speaking. I didn't finish what I said. Let me finish. You talk and act like you're the most important person in the room. That's what you got to do. Like you were the most important person in the room. I remember I went to my friend's birthday party. And the way I carried myself and talked and acted, I felt like at least. I know it was her party, not mine. But it felt like I took up the most space and carried the most weight and threw around that weight more than anybody else in that room of 10 people, one of whom was myself. So yeah, don't be bullied, don't be marginalized, don't be disrespected or mistreated. When we have social anxiety, it's often because we've internalized this belief, oh, I don't belong. I don't belong. Or I'm not good enough, right? When you start to think that, it reflects in how you act. And when you act like that, for better or for worse, people will treat you like that. And you will find it hard because you feel small, you feel inferior, you will feel like you're never getting anywhere in life. So act like you belong always. It's not rude to force yourself in. Sometimes that's what you got to do. It may feel uncomfortable, it may feel like you're being rude or disrespectful in the beginning, but sometimes you have no other choice. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do. Never, ever allow yourself to be treated as somebody that's just on the side or in the backup or something like that. If you don't want to participate in something, fine, that's your decision. You don't want to participate in it. If you would rather take a backup position, then yes, that's your decision to take a backup position. I'm saying don't let other people do that to you. You always belong. You always belong. So you act like you belong. Never, ever, ever let society exclude you or treat you as inferior or make you feel anxious about who you are. Or rather, not feel anxious about who you are, but feel anxious about how you naturally act in a public place, in a public situation. This world is yours. That's something my brother told me. The world is yours. It's yours to conquer. It's yours to win. Internalize that and make that a part of who you are, and then act accordingly.